Okay,
Is that what I'm hearing?
I think we lost it.
I think that's what he said, though.
but that is what he said.
Okay. So we're going back to the original motion. All those in motion to favor of deferring this, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No.
Who's the second no?
Ms.
Henry,
Meyer and
thank you.
Mr. Thomas voted no.
Got it, 4-2?
Okay. I apologize for the confusion, council members.
So does that mean that at the next meeting, the proper one will be in front of us?
Which,
The
we'll find
newest?
out at the next meeting.
I mean, if one is, it'll be a
Stay
newer
tuned.
one.
It
Yeah,
is, this-
Yeah,
it will
we'll,
be.
stay tuned, we'll
Okay.
find out.
okay.
All right. All right, next motion, or next item on the business is discussion of across-the-board 6% cuts. Mr. McClung and Ms. Harmon made.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right, Mr. Clark is here, sitting here. In your packet are items, number 3, that shows a 6% payroll reduction by departments and the fund. The mayor's office would have a payroll deduction of $3,733. Finance would have $4,722. Police of $22,940. Fire EMS of $21,020. And the building official would have $1,757 for a total in the general fund of $37,262.46. We had also in the Public Works a notice of a $12,506 reduction, and transit of $12,424. The reason those are separate is because do not affect the general revenue streams. Those are our standalone items with the with the Public Works being I'm lost of words here. Special funds that we can't, enterprise funds. Thank you. Enterprise funds. So that doesn't affect our bottom line and our general revenue. We could wipe those funds out to zero and it still wouldn't help our general revenue any. Same thing with transit. In fact, transit may even get reimbursed on theirs. We don't know yet from the federal. But the effect of that 6% was the $62,000 if you included Public Works and Transit, a total of $62,193. And then we had a cemetery fund or reduction of 6%, which was $854. So, Ms. Harmon?
I just want to clarify that that is for the remainder of the year. That's a total for the remainder of
That is
2020. correct?
total based on $1,200, 1,200 hours.
Hours.
Yes.
Okay, so total of 193.18 for the rest of 2020 that you would
Yes.
be able to reduce, or that was suggested as an additional reduction based on our last meeting.
That's based on our last meeting across the board, but again, it does not affect our general revenues. The only thing that affects our general revenues is the
Expenses.
$37,000 amount.
Yeah.
Mr. McClung?
We're still looking at 7 months. So you're looking at 9,000 roughly a month. Is that right?
Yes.
So it's really not that consequential. It's really not. You follow what I'm saying, Mr. Mayor? That it's not an effective cut.
No. Ms. Green?
Well, and I agree with Mr. McClung. I think we've cut a lot of the staff down. They're picking up extra duties. And then I think to just add this onto it is kind of, I think it's rough. And I personally don't. It's not going to make any difference to us. I don't think we should do it.
I think if we can kind of go along and look, I don't need to push y'all, but it's kind of a combination of the effect on our proposed budget adjustments on what we had talked about the last time, which is also on your next page, And Lonnie's come up, and I think with what the Public Works has done, if you look, and again, you can see where we had a general revenue cut overall that affected the general funds of roughly 22% that the department heads came up to. The bottom line, we don't have these pages numbered, but you can look.
What does it cover? Which one are we looking at?
I'm looking at the pretty,
Okay, got the pretty front sheet.
So we're on to number 4?
yeah, number 4.
Okay.
If you go to page, counting the first one is page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the sixth page,
What department?
Yeah, what does it say at the top?
sixth page down at the bottom, it has total for general fund revenues. Everybody on that page?
Yeah.
Gives us a net revenue and expenditures of $13,000
For the year?
for the year.
That's, it's status quo.
That's with the cuts that the department heads, and we've recommended to the council, that the council looked at the last time,
Where does that stand with the fire department?
leaving the fire department as is.
I think that's great.
And also leaving the animal officer in there too. So, Mr. Meyer?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to talk about the animal officer. You know, that's one of the departments that's totally funded by the citizens of Eureka Springs, or should be, if everyone paid their dog license, because there's more dogs than people here, the animal guy would be fully funded without any problem whatsoever. Maybe we can put
Harry.
some ads in the paper, send a message with the water bills saying, hey,
Yeah.
folks, you actually have to have a license for your dog.
My dogs are number 8, 9, and 10, that tells you.
Yeah, mine are 11 and 12.
See?
Mine was 1.
Well, you got the number one dog.
All right. Any comments and questions? Ms. Harmon?
On paper, this looks great, right? We still don't know. I mean, there's still a huge unknown out there.
We got to have our
So-
hand and finger on the pulse.
Could be an earthquake tomorrow.
Yeah, there could be an earthquake tomorrow.
Actually, there's a hurricane moving in tonight.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, Cristobal's on.
I mean, obviously, the 6% isn't going to make a difference. We still have a shortfall, and, you know, I guess we'll know from month to month. I guess what's troubling for me is that, you know, in our last meeting, we basically were told that we are down to bare bones. And, you know, if we're at bare bones at a 22% decrease, then if something happened, this town doesn't survive very long. And to me, that's troubling that we're in that type of situation. So I know we'll look at it from month to month. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. And we've got a couple months coming up where we're going to have very little money that will be coming into the city. So, you know, it's just kind of where I'm at right now. And like I said, nobody knows what it's going to be like. Business has been great since we opened up middle of May, at least at our business, and I've heard from several other businesses that, you know, it has been fantastic. We're hoping that it will continue to be so for the rest of the year. But we still need to be responsible, and we still need to watch it, and we still need to have in the back of our mind that what if it's not? And how do we go about generating enough money in order to support the town in the way that we think it should be supported through taxes? I know that the businesses out there right now don't have extra change rolling around in their pocket right now. So we wouldn't be able to go to them. I don't believe that we would be able to go to our citizens in general for additional money. So I really think that we need to obviously watch this, but at the same time be open to ideas and thoughts that are out there amongst the community to bring more money to our town. Because it's not grown on a tree out back if this doesn't improve.
Mr. McClung?
Yeah, in addition to what she just said, what Susan just said, the CAPC has had a soft presence in the advertising market during the last few months, and we have moved into, as of today, where we're progressing into our advertising. June 8th was our target date, and so that's beginning, and you know, some of the restrictions have been lifted on the lodging, where you can rent more rooms, turn them over quickly, or more quickly than you could. And so things are getting better in that respect. You know, the numbers in the state for different reasons are up, but you know, the recuperation rate is great. So the way to cover any of this really is through income generation. And that's what we're trying to do, is to, you know, convey to the general public all over that we advertise to, is that Eureka Springs is open. There is lots here to do in a lot of open space. And, you know, come here, relax, and enjoy yourself, and, you know, come see what we have. And so it's, you know, we're going in the right direction in that respect. And so, you know, I think it's all going to ease in. And I agree with Susan 100%, you know, that we have that responsibility to stay on top of this and monitor it. And if things go south, then we got to go south with it in what we have to do. But hopefully, you know, the tax collections that the city get are 2 months behind. CAPC is 1 month behind. We know that this one and the next one are going to be the two weakest, and then after that we should start seeing an increase. You know, we just got to hang in there and wait it out. But yes, we got to be ready to, you know, get out the axe if we have to. But hopefully we won't have to. You know, I'm still trying to keep positive and move forward with this. I think we're going to come out of it.
All right, anyone else? Mr. Thomas?
I have a question. I don't have anything inspirational to say. I agree with what Mr. McClung said. Yeah. But I do have a question. If we don't do anything tonight, the budget that we approved 2 weeks ago is the budget. Is that correct?
Can we ask Lonnie to explain what he did?
Yes, that is correct. Isn't that true, Mr. Clark?
Okay, what we did, we took the 35, started with revenue, and we reduced it to 35% on everything except those items that we knew that we were going to be collecting 100%. For instance, our Western Carroll County Ambulance District contract, we're assured that that will be 100% collection.
Please holler.
Yeah, hold it up closer.
Closer? Okay.
Oh, much better, thank you.
Okay. And so we took that, and then we asked each department head to try to come up with the 35% cut. And that seemed almost impossible without just really going into personnel and just almost eliminating the personnel in each department. I think every department head did as best they possibly could. So I took what you had last time, and I reworked the things that I thought, as I understood at least, that you wanted. And that was to put back in the animal control officer. That was to put back in the 20% reduction at the fire department that we had cut out. Also, the building inspector there was some changes made there where he would be back at full-time and some other expenses cut. And so that's how we managed to come up with this projection that we have currently before you. And so if I could say that I think, it's my opinion, that if you would pass this as the budget that we have to operate with right now, and let us, and I say us, the mayor, of course, and the department heads work on this like we have been working on it, making the cuts where I think we can make this thing work. And I think that if we will allow this system that we have a tremendous group of department heads that are very conscientious. And so I believe that with being allowed to take these numbers and what I see, I think we can make this thing work out. So there's no guarantees, of course, and if we have a setback and another round of the virus or whatever, then we'll have to make some other changes. But I think that the only way that we can accomplish what we set out to accomplish on the 35% was drastic cuts in personnel. And I don't think any of us really want to see that. I don't think we can, excuse me, as we observe the city and things not being done and so forth that we want done and the way we want to present our city to people, I don't think that's a really good option. So what I'm asking you to do is to pass this as the budget. Let us work with it. We're on it. We're every day. We're watching it. And that's not to say that things can't happen, but give us an opportunity. You have our full commitment.
Mr. McClung?
I don't think it takes any action on our part, does it, Mr. Mayor? I mean, we're moving along, and all these, you're doing what you're supposed to do, and I mean, any budget that we accept, we gotta pass it with an ordinance. We don't need an ordinance.
Resolution.
Do a resolution.
We can do it with a resolution.
Yeah. I mean, we're keeping our fingers crossed. I mean, we are going to need to be paying a lot of attention to this. And of course, we've been having our budget meetings as such. I think every year we look at a mid-year budget review.
And that's gonna be coming up here.
And,
Next month
we
anyway.
can make it at that point. There may be later on in the year, if our tax revenues go up like we're hoping they will, we may see an increase in things where we need to make some more changes, but.
So we don't really need a resolution now until we do an actual, say, a mid-year review in July or something like that. Is that?
Mr. Weaver, do we need a resolution right now, or can we go with this and wait until a mid-year? Get a motion to approve what we've shown?
Right now, I think you can do without the resolution at the moment until your mid-year. If you want to take a vote to pass on and go and do what you're doing, you can, but you don't have to even.
Okay. Ms. Snyder?
Okay, so basically, what it comes down to is Lonnie is saying let the department heads do the job that they have been doing because they're doing an excellent job. They are being very careful. We don't have to worry at this point about any wage cuts, and all we're doing is letting things go ahead as they have been. We've approved the cuts that they've come up with, and when we do our mid-year, we'll be able to see exact numbers. Everything is working out the way it should be. They are doing their job, and we need to let them do it.
All right.
I think we should make a motion that we stick with this plan until the
Make it.
mid-year. job.
Why? They're
I
doing
make a
their
motion that we
job.
stick with this plan.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion to approve or stick with this proposed budget adjustment for June 8th of 2020. Any further comments?
Why are we making a motion on something where they're doing their
Well,
job?
we've got a motion in a second.
Why?
Who
Question,
was the second, please?
I think we had a
Melissa.
second.
Thank you.
question.
Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, so are we voting to approve the same thing that we voted to approve 2 weeks ago?
That's what I thought we already did.
A
Yeah,
little different.
It's a little different because we had the animal control officer in it. We made some other minor changes. So,
So Jimmy got all his hours back?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's different. This is different from what we approved 2 weeks ago.
This is slightly different, so I think it would require a different motion.
Thank you.
Yes, I second it.
All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so moved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lonnie.
Thank you, Mr. Clark, very much for your hard work, and I want to thank all the department heads too, and for their diligence and belt tightening.
Was that 3 and 4?
Yes.
Pardon?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's 3 and 4 on
Yeah,
ours. Okay.
great. So that brings us up to the motion to discuss the acceptance of the 2018 audit.
so moved.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second to approve the legislative audit for 2018. Any questions or comments?
Was that the motion that was made?
No.
I think they were just making a motion to discuss, right?
We had a
Yeah.
motion to discuss, okay.
Yeah,
I'm asking Mr. Thomas.
Then I move to accept the 2018 audit.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That brings us up to our discussion of the speed limit on Council on East Mountain, Mr. Meyer and Ms. Snyder.
so moved.
Motion,
what so-
got a motion?
I'm sorry. I make a motion, we discuss the speed limit situation.
Second.
All right. Ms. Snyder?
Sorry, still pollen season. Everybody I have talked to, and I've actually had them beat on my door instead of using the bell, are wondering when do we get speed bumps back? I know I had asked a couple months ago, and it's going to be later this year. As far as East Mountain goes, that's probably the one place in town I would definitely say a speed table would be really good. When we got a speed table several years ago going over to the grade school and the new high school, I got 5 million calls, except for real super newbies. None of us knew what a speed table was. We were used to bumps. We had never seen, heard, or gone over one. People were breaking their cars. They all now know. And they know, yes, you go over those things slowly. They are, I believe, are more expensive than a mere little bump. But at that one place, I have no problem whatsoever spending a little bit extra money to put it there to keep our people safe, to keep the speeds down, because you don't mess with this thing.